Now, I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Perspective. Please make sure you like, subscribe. We're going to get into it today. This is bananas. Bananas is off the hook. Everything going on with Jonathan Majors. And look, I know there are some people out there. I know there are some content creators out there that are sitting back saying, how is this possible? Jonathan Majors got railroaded. And there still is a possibility for that, but it is not the way you think. It didn't go down the way you think it went down. There was a lot more that went into this. And what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and play a few of these things for you, so you can kind of see what I'm speaking in reference to, because the more information that I got, I found it very, very interesting. It wasn't just a cut clear case, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And on top of that, too, again, make sure that you guys leave a comment so you can be featured on the actual live show itself while it is going on. But anyway, I want to go ahead and play this clip. So let's go ahead and line it. It's actually not a clip. It's coming from, I want to say this is not for sure here. But this is actually a news view. So let's go ahead and jump into this and play this really quick, you guys. See what we can do here. See what we can get. And I just got cut off. Of course, everybody knows how that goes. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. We can get it back on really quick. So yeah, man. I mean, so here's what I saw, because I saw, and this is just my meager brain looking at the situation. I saw two lawyers trying to win the public's opinion about this case. That's what I saw. I saw the defense and the prosecution trying to win a case, and they were trying to get their stories out to the mass media as much as they could. And if you were listening to one source of media, you were getting the side I was getting, which is Jonathan Majors was innocent. And I still do believe he's innocent, by the way. Or you were getting the other side where much wasn't actually coming out, but you were in the actual courtroom or knew somebody in the courtroom and saying, hey, this is a lot more, down the middle than I thought it was, So that's what I get from this whole thing here, is that there was more intricate stuff in it than people actually were paying attention to. And I want to get into that here. So I believe I got it all set up for you. So let's see if this will play here. Yeah.
And hello, everyone. I'm Kira Phillips.
And I'm Terry Miranda. We've got some breaking news. The jury in the Jonathan Majors domestic violence trial has found him guilty of one count of assault and one count of harassment, but acquitted him of another count of assaulting his former girlfriend. This comes after jurors spent 4 or 5 hours deliberating over portions of several.
So this was one of those cases where you had where they went into detail as far as when it came to charging him. You know how they have separate accounts of assault, separate accounts of abuse and stuff like that. So they went into detail, which they normally don't do. And this is how I feel like the fix could have been put in on Jonathan Majors. Is because when you have court cases, you guys, they have the option of what they are going to charge you with. Now, they can charge you with like simple assault and a battery. They can charge you with domestic violence, 1 count, 2 count, 3 count. They can charge you with domestic violence because you did this. It can get really in detail about what they actually charge you for. And that's exactly what happened in the Jonathan Majors case. And in my personal opinion, this is just my personal opinion, you guys, this is how the court system figures out who they want to fry and who they don't want to fry. And in this case, it just seemed like they really wanted him. So the way I feel about it is, you know, you can find anyone guilty if you throw 100 different charges at them. You know, you're going to get them for something. But anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and finish out the clip.
Days. And this is a case that has gotten a lot of attention. Jonathan Majors, a major rising star, and he met a crisis in this, and the jury has now returned with its verdict.
And there was a lot of talk about this trial impacting his future in the movie business. Rising star within the Marvel movies, our legal contributor.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm sure Marvel is watching this, and they are deliberating right now at this very moment, trying to figure out what they are going to do. They probably already figured it out. They probably knew I'm sure they knew way more than the general public knew. They were following this case in detail. I'm sure they had people in there sitting in the room. So I'm positive they probably already had their decision made with this. They could have just said, you know what? This is way too risky. We have all the information, but we're not going to make a public decision until the information came out. And they're deliberating right now. So let's keep going.
Brian Buckmeyer has been following this from the very beginning as well. So I guess let's first of all talk about the charges here. Brian, your first reaction.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of scratching my head just because I'm looking at the different charges, and let me break it down and explain. There are two different assaults here. One is intentional assault and one is reckless assault. Based on the number order that they're telling us, my guess, and please someone correct me if I'm wrong, is they're acquitting him of intentional assault, but finding him guilty of reckless assault.
Okay, so first off, did you know that there was an intentional assault and then a reckless assault? This is what I mean when I say if they want to get you for something, they can get you for something. If you throw enough stuff at a person, you're going to get them on something. I did not. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna start that over again.
One is based on the number order that they're telling us, my guess, and please someone correct me if I'm wrong, is they're acquitting him of intentional assault, but finding him guilty of reckless assault, meaning that he just did.
So they're acquitting him of intentional assault and convicting him for like incidental assault, basically, is what they're saying. I thought assault was just, well, I guess that's good for him, to be honest with you, but damn. All right, let's keep going.
Something he should have known better, and it caused the injury.
Oh, no. Hold on. So, yo, check this out. If I am trying to help someone and, you know, I punch or I throw something at him or something like that so he can catch it, and he misses it and it hits him. So that is intentional assault. That could be considered intentional assault. This is crazy. This is just crazy to me. Let's keep on going.
Of Grace Jabari. Then he's found not guilty of aggravated assault, which is to alarm, annoy, harass, or threaten someone and subject them to physical violence. But he's not guilty of that, but he is guilty of alarming and annoying Grace Jabari. To me, this sounds like a King Solomon decision.
They're trying to, yo.
They literally just split the baby and said half and half, but some of the convictions and some of the acquittals don't really make sense when you put them all together.
Well, Brian, let me try to make a little sense. I wonder, I don't know the exact fact pattern since I wasn't in the courtroom, but couldn't you say that in the fury of what is a domestic dispute, he was reckless in his handling, in his physical handling of Jabari, and that was the reckless assault. And the harassment is he lost his temper rather than consciously went after her. Does that make sense?
No, because it makes sense for the reckless and then the aggravated harassment, because the aggravated harassment is harassing someone through physical violence. So why find him guilty of assaulting recklessly?
She tried to jump out the car. Yes, he manhandled her a little, but he put her back in the car so she wouldn't. You know what? I'm working this out as I'm talking to you guys. And the more and more I think about this, the more and more I think about a content creator who always says, who said they had the fix out on them. Because regardless of what kind of fix you think it is, whether it be like somebody in the film industry trying to get him someone in Hollywood, it's, you know, whoever, it's just like somebody already made a decision regardless of what the evidence was going to show. That's what it feels like here. Damn. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I have to say it, I hear angry man. I hear angry man saying the fix was in. And, you know, maybe not the conspiratorial fix, but it was already in, you know, that it was so close to them that they were like, we got to give them something. But in reality, if we just went down to the nuts and bolts of, hey, did he physically try to hurt this person? Was he trying to do something to them? The answer is no. He was acting out, giving a minimum, say 50% of energy, the same energy she was giving him. And because he is the defendant, he has a burden of essentially proving everything, is what it seems like to me, that he was not wrong for. And this is not one of those cases. I mean, God dang it, you got to give him some slack, man. That's just horrible. Let's keep on going.
But not guilty of harassing someone through physical force. That's the part that I'm thinking someone just kind of said, you know what, We'll find him guilty for 2, but not guilty for these 2. But it could work. Someone's got to talk to the jury, I guess.
Yeah. Let's talk about the evidence, because there was clearly clashing narrative from both sides. We had video, audio, text, photos. Do we have that video? Okay, this is some of the photos that we had here of the bruises and the cuts. This is the video that I'm talking about. I mean, this was probably one of the most powerful pieces of the evidence that they played in court, Brian.
Absolutely. And I was in court watching some of this video being played to the jury, and I think it was difficult for both the prosecution and the defense to really articulate this video in a way that really moved the jury. And I think ultimately,
she could have hurt her fucking self trying to grab after him. She could have fucking failed somewhere.
Video, testimony, 911 calls, and they decided for themselves. For me, is this Jonathan
She ran into freaking oncoming traffic,
girlfriend then running away, or is this him trying to stop her from stealing, or I guess re-stealing his cell phone and getting away from her? The juxtaposition of how this was presented to the jury, I think, is what caused the deliberation to take so long.
He basically manhandled her, get in the car, stop following me, go home.
So here they are. She has seen the...
Yo, this is ridiculous, man. I can't believe we're even doing this. Yeah, the fix was definitely in. The fix was absolutely in. This is sad. This is sad right here. Let's keep going.
The spark that triggered this fight was she saw what she thought was a message from another woman on his phone. So she was trying to grab the phone. He's trying to grab it back. They're probably at the peak of emotions and anger and mutual conflict at that point. And
Yes.
would the jury have factored that in? In other words,
Yes,
we've all been in
exactly.
fights with people we love.
Exactly. We're arguing he's not trying to physically hurt her. Would you factor that in, that, hey, this is a relationship, a marriage? Well, not a marriage for them, but a relationship. Shit happens. He is not trying to physically harm her. This is not one of those situations.
And so it's not the same as a more conscious.
As Brian smiles, he's like,
Yeah, so this is the difficult part for me, and this is where I was getting in trouble at home when I tried to break this down to my wife. What I didn't like about this defense is they didn't focus on what is called Penal Law 3525. It's the ability to use force to stop a larceny or theft or criminal mischief, the damage of your property. And I always go back to this analogy that I've said multiple times in ABC. And I'll use Kira, use an example. If Kira's walking down the street and someone takes her purse, the law says you're allowed to use force to take your property back. The law doesn't say, well, your girlfriend's allowed to take your cell phone because she's allowed to check for infidelity. The law doesn't say, well, my wife's allowed or I'm allowed to take my wife's property because I need to check it for this or that. No. To me, this broke down to Grace Jabari stealing property and Jonathan Majors using force. Now the question is appropriate force to take back his property. But that seemed to be an argument that was missed completely in this trial. I'm not sure quite why. For the most part, they really focused on, can you believe that these injuries actually occurred in that vehicle when Grace Jabari then went off drinking with these new friends that she saw, that she supposedly bumped into a wall, supposedly bounced her head off of the DJ booth. Was
yo, check this out.
Was her finger.
Check this out, y'all. I'm going to say this. And I want y'all to really listen to what I'm about to say. When she was away from Jonathan Majors and she got back in the car, what if she just start fit raging and just start throwing punches at the door or something? That, I'm just saying, what if she did that? Let's go.
Really broken? Was her ear really scratched? That's where this case really focused. It didn't focus on, is any person justified of using force to take back their property?
So Majors didn't testify in his own defense, right?
That's correct.
He should
did not
have.
testify in this case.
So do you think that helped or hurt him?
Hindsight's always 20/20. So you look at it now and you're like, maybe it hurt him. I think the difficulty in him testifying was that the evidence that came in was so strong that, for lack of a better term, this was a toxic relationship. This was a man who believed he was, as his own words, a great man, and that he needed a great woman similar to like that of Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King, and through the prosecution's eyes or their lens was manipulating Grace Jabari to be someone else through verbal and emotional abuse, and that this crescendo of verbal and emotional abuse led to the physical abuse that is this case. And if Jonathan Majors took the stand, he would have had to answer for each and every.
I want to know who those fucking juries were, because it sound, you know how they say you're being judged by a jury of your peers? Bull fucking shit. Because if you were judged by a jury of your peers, I'm not even gonna go there. But the point I'm trying to make is they obviously were not my peers. If you get what I'm saying. But let's go.
Every one of those instances of verbal and emotional abuse. And I think that would have been very damning for him, not just in a criminal setting, but also in a PR setting, because he's got to have a life after this. So I think strategically it makes sense for him not to testify. But I think on another sense, him testifying to what happened in that vehicle, saying, I was just trying to get my phone back. This was not a form of manipulation. This wasn't a form of abuse. This was, someone took my property and I tried to take it back with as little force or little harm as possible, and she wasn't injured when I left. I think that could have been helpful as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Aaron Katursky.
Yeah, I think so too. But like you said, hindsight is 20/20, man. Damn. when you get into the intricate details of law and you go into depth in regards to these type of things, man, I mean, you got to have a head on you to, know about, research certain laws and things like that. This is why they get paid the big bucks, man, because, I mean, man, you got somebody's life in your hand. Let's go.
Been covering this for us. Thank you, Brian, our senior investigative reporter. So, Aaron, this is a split verdict. Brian's just been slicing and dicing
verdict,
along
you guys.
with us and some of the evidence in the case. What do you make of this verdict? What's the jury saying, and what are the consequences for Jonathan Majors?
I think off the bat, with 2 counts of conviction, Jonathan Majors faces as much as a year in prison of Kimari in the back-rated era.
So was she reckless?
Because on both counts that in...
Was she reckless? Was she reckless when she ran after him? Was she reckless when she got funky drunk? Was she reckless when she was hitting him in the car? Was she reckless? Shouldn't this shit even out? All right, we was both drunk. We was both acting stupid here. Let's go our separate ways and just call it what it is. But he has to actually take the blame for it.
Involved intentional conduct. The jury acquitted him on the counts where it was just reckless assault. He was convicted, and then the jury saw video of the alleged harassment outside the SUV where Majors is seen hoisting Jabari off the ground and shoving her back into the SUV. That was pretty cut and dry, it seemed, to the jury, and so they convicted him on the single misdemeanor count of harassment.
Wow.
So what's the talk, Ben, Aaron, just about his future and his career and how that's playing into all of this? I mean, a lot of the coverage has been about how he was this rising star within Marvel, and that this case could devastate his future.
Well, he was a rising star within Marvel, wasn't he? With roles in Loki and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
He's supposed to do, you guys.
Pending the outcome of the case. But regardless, and he can try to fight the 2 counts of conviction, but regardless, there were some things that came out during trial on several occasions. Threw a candle at her head, the candle container smashed. The jury saw pictures of it. There were clearly instances of verbal and emotional abuse where he's imploring her not to come home drunk because he's a great man. He needs a great woman to support him, and implores her to behave more like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama, implicitly comparing himself to the husbands of those 2 women.
Hey, man, look, fellas, if you got money, it's not even, don't even think about getting married. If you got money, I mean like money, like you doing big things, man, it's not worth it. Go overseas, bro. This is not worth it, man. Not even married to this chick.
And there were other instances where he tells her, and the jury saw surveillance images of this, to button up her blouse. He thought her blouse was too much as they were.
You fucking embarrassing me. Button up your fucking blouse. You fucking embarrassing me. You got your titties all out. I don't want nobody to see what I have at home. Don't embarrass me. What the fuck is he talking about? We act like this is some old shit or this is some new shit. Bruh. Bro, what the fuck are we talking about?
Going out on the night, March 25th, earlier this year when the assault occurred. So there were things that weren't great.
Well, although since
not for black.
And Terry, I think that what you just said seems to reflect a reason that the Manhattan District Attorney decided to bring this case in the first place, because prosecutors seem to believe that it doesn't have to just be Harvey Weinstein or conduct that reaches that level. And in fact, I think prosecutors are coming to a belief that women are enduring all sorts of other kinds of domestic violence that don't necessarily rise to felony conduct under the law, but may deserve a look from prosecutors nonetheless.
Fellas, if this don't tell you that you need to leave America right now and stop fucking with these women here, you're unsavable. Because this is fucking ridiculous.
I can't think of another misdemeanor assault case that's ever gone to trial in the last 20 years here, Terry. But the Manhattan DA's office was determined.
He just said it.
Nonetheless.
He just said it. Let's go back. Listen to this.
I can't think of another misdemeanor assault case that's ever gone to trial in.
He can't think of another misdemeanor assault case that's ever went to trial. The fix was fucking in. You know, I'm going to tell you something that happened personal to me. It's already over now, so it's whatever. But I'm in, if you guys don't know, I'm into like UAPs and UFOs and shit like that. I had a little flash or a laser, something like that, doing that shit like, what's his name? I can't remember the bald guy name. But he would talk about UFOs and, EBs and stuff like that, and how to signal them. So I got in trouble for some shit on there, and I went to court for it. Now, the thing that actually happened is they told me there was a good chance that they wouldn't even bring it to trial. And the reason why they were not even going to bring it to trial is because it was a misdemeanor. Now, I didn't understand why, they wouldn't bring it to trial or whatever. I didn't get it at that time. But the reason they don't bring some of these things to trial is because they are a waste of the taxpayers' money, time, and effort. They are a waste for the jurors. They are a waste for the judge. They are a waste for the lawyers. They typically have bigger fish to fry. So cases like mine, cases like this get thrown out normally. So why was this case not thrown out? Why? That's what you have to ask yourself. Let's keep going.
The last 20 years here, Terry, but the Manhattan DA's office was determined to bring the case, knowing that it was an imperfect set of facts, and I think the split verdict reflects that. But
look, they were determined to bring the case. Was there some motivation, an extra push behind that? Was there somebody saying, no, we got to get this? You know what I want to say. We got to get this person. Was it that? What was it? Why the extra push to do this case, this particular case? Let's go.
Knowing it was an imperfect set of facts, they moved ahead anyway.
An imperfect set of facts.
I think a bit of a message that the conduct women often endure in relationships, even if it isn't as serious as something like a Harvey Weinstein.
I'm in danger.
In court.
And that's not the woman.
Yeah, point well made.
Majors was in
Overall,
trouble when he walked in
not
that
a real
courtroom
healthy
today.
relationship when you learned a lot of the facts and the back and forth and just the manipulation and all of that. So, Brian, Aaron, thank you both so much. And sentencing for Jonathan Majors is currently set for February 6th, 2024.
Yo, you know what? I was going to get into another topic and we were going to discuss that, but I'm sorry, I'm actually genuinely pissed about this. The fix was fucking in, bruh. It was in, and it is what it is. So now we got to see what he's facing. Probably, I don't know, some community service. I don't know what they're fucking going to do to him. I don't think they're going to put him in jail. If they do, that would be real shitty. But man, a misdemeanor. Yo. This is why men are doing this. This is why men are doing this right here. This is why men are doing this. This is exactly why, y'all. Yo, I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Watch your fucking life, your pockets, everything. Just watch yourself. Because it's real out here, yo. It's real. It's real. Watch yourself. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be updated for all new content that's coming out. I love you guys, man. Just be cool. And don't be messing with these women. Don't be messing with these Western women, man. Just, bro, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. Especially if you're a man of means, you're doing stuff. Get your shit and go. Other than that, I'll holler at you. Be cool. Peace, y'all.